And we shall continue to.
Question number 7, Holly Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Housing and asks, what are Housing New Zealand's timeframes for responding to maintenance requests, and in what percentage of cases are those timeframes met?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm advised that response times are determined by the urgency of work. Now, this is categorised in 3 ways: urgent health and safety, which needs to be responded to within 4 hours. Recent results are 93% of jobs completed within that time frame. Urgent responsive maintenance which does not meet the health and safety criteria, but is of an urgent nature, which should be completed in 2 working days. Recent results are 93% of those jobs completed within time frame. And general responsive maintenance work that includes general repairs and must be responded to within 10 working days, 91% of jobs completed within time frame recently. Where work will take longer to complete, I'm advised the Corporation ensures there's no health and safety risk at the property, and when necessary supplies tenants with interim measures until the work can be completed.
Holly Walker.
Does Housing New Zealand keep records of how many maintenance requests are outstanding at any given time? And if so, how many are currently outstanding?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Mr. Speaker, Housing New Zealand records all maintenance requests, clearly makes a judgment whether those are sensible requests, and maintenance does need to be done. Clearly it measures how many are responded to. In most cases it's well over 90%, so I would imagine they would have a record of what requests which do have credibility have yet to be responded to. But I must say that not every request for maintenance is necessarily one that's credible, because people sometimes would like, a couple of garages, some carports or whatever, which may not fit within maintenance criteria.
Holly Walker.
Can he confirm that the urgent health and safety maintenance that should be responded to within 4 hours can include correcting faults with toilets and drains? And if so, why was a tenant in Invercargill who discovered her toilet leaking in January left to wait until August for it to be repaired, while black mould caused by the leak spread from the bathroom to the hall and into a child's bedroom, making her family sick?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Well, Mr. Speaker, with 69,000 houses, there is a possibility that for some reason a request hasn't been attended to. I wouldn't necessarily know about every request, but what might be of interest to the member, if it is a health and safety issue, the Corporation will respond, but reasons for not responding can include being unable to contact the tenant to arrange a time, the tenant refusing contractors access, or a specific product or material required and needs to be ordered. I'm not saying that was the case in this instance. I'm unfamiliar with this instance. This instance at this stage to me is just an allegation. I'd be happy to pass it on to the Corporation should the member pass me more detail.
Holly Walker.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Holly Walker.
I seek leave to table a timeline from that tenant outlining her communications with Housing New Zealand in the months from January to August.
The timeline was prepared by that tenant. Leave us sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. Holly Walker, supplementary question.
Can he confirm that urgent health and safety maintenance that should be responded to within 4 hours can include fixing a broken exterior door or window? And if so, why was a tenant in Porirua who rang the 0800 number to request that a gap in her exterior window be fixed because it was making her house and her children cold, told that it was Housing New Zealand's safety policy to leave gaps in windows so that smoke could escape during a fire?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
Well, as I say, Mr. Speaker, I'm not across all 69,000 State House requests, but what I can say is that urgent response and maintenance is work that does not meet the health and safety criteria but is of an urgent nature. For example, the repair of a smoke detector when there are still other working smoke detectors in the home. This should be completed in 2 days. I'd welcome the member passing on those allegations at this stage. They just remain allegations. If it needs to be addressed, I'm sure the Corporation will address it. Mr. Speaker.
Holly Walker, supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given those examples, will he require Housing New Zealand to publicly report the number of outstanding maintenance requests at any given time to ensure that Housing New Zealand is not routinely breaking the law under the Residential Tenancy Act 1986?
The Honourable Phil Heatley.
No, Mr. Speaker. I'm comfortable with the corporation reporting to shareholding ministers and more particularly their board on their response times. Obviously, response times are over 90%, which is good. There's always room for improvement. If the member wants such urgent attention given to state houses, why does she wait a couple of weeks till question time to raise it with me? Why doesn't she just contact my office or the corporation directly?
Question number 8, Katrina Shanks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister of Courts. What recent announcements has he made